Next time on Star Trek Endurance.
First Officer's Log, Stardate 60195.9. After some much-needed shore leave, we've resupplied the ship and spent 2 weeks tweaking our sensor suites for more efficient and effective use while exploring the Shackleton Expanse. Now, the Kong Z has been assigned escort duty for a transport convoy to Array 3-5, a joint Klingon Federation deep space research outpost deep within the Shackleton Expanse. We're joined by the IKS Pe Kolvij, under command of Captain Gavik. The convoy will be a prime target for any pirates in the area, since it will be carrying valuable equipment and personnel. While the Orion and Ferengi governments have banned piracy and especially the slave trade, it is no secret that the Syndicate and, shall we say, independent Ferengi daimons are willing to flout such prohibitions if they think there's enough money to be made. We still have a couple of days until we leave dry dock, just enough time for engineering to make sure the new systems are well integrated and for the crew to get a few more days in of enjoying the hospitality of Narendra Station.
During the flight, the convoy will be forced out of warp in dangerous territory, and a new threat will rear its head. It seems that the Orions, Ferengi, and spatial anomalies are far from the biggest threat in the Shackleton Expanse. Can the crew effect repairs and fend off unknown enemies, all while keeping the precious crew and cargo of the convoy safe? Find out next time on Star Trek Endurance. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Star Trek Endurance. This is Season 1, Episode 10, Convoy, SE-119. We didn't play last month for various reasons, and I wasn't entirely positive we were going to play today because of that, but hey, we are in fact here. We are ready to go. We are Les, our captain, and who is also our main producer. So for today, Commander Va, the first officer, is going to be acting captain, and I'm going to be the acting producer. So, and I'm realizing what I did forget, which is to set up anything to track the threat and momentum. So, everybody, I would suggest that you open up like Notepad or something so that you can keep track. So, yeah, my bad on that one. I knew there was going to be something, and it turns out it was that. So that's what I forgot. But hey, that's okay. We will be able to figure this out. I want everyone to introduce themselves real quick. We're going to start over on the top left, and then I'm going to go in rows. So we'll go, Zar, you're up first. Tell everyone who you are, who you play.
Yeah, I'm Zar/Necro, and I'm small in the frame. Just ignore that. My computer broke down. So, I'm on a very wacky setup. And I play Broken Chip, exocomp that has weird voices sometimes.
Yes.
It's fun.
And your position on the ship is?
Currently I am communications officer.
All right. And Jordan?
I'm Jordan. I occasionally run the channel Reason to Doubt, though not so much more lately because of life. But in this game, I am Commander Va, the executive officer of the ship, now commanding officer. But I've been a captain before, so it's no big deal.
Yeah, you're the acting captain for today, so,
Yeah.
I'm, of course, Dapper. I run this channel as well as my main channel, Dapper Dinosaur, where I mostly do pseudoscience debunks, primarily about young Earth creationism, although I'm actually working on a series right now about geocentrism from Tradcaths, because...
Please tell me it includes Syngenis.
It actually doesn't. I wanted to include Syngenis, but when I looked at all of his videos, there was just a lot of not ever getting to the point, and, like, it was sort of like an L.A. Marzulli video, where he would just waffle on, and then take breaks to talk about whatever he was hawking or whatever.
Have you watched the debate I have with him? You could probably use what he said in that. It was hilarious.
That might be an option. In fact, maybe someday we could do a debate review there, Craig.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Anyway, yeah, so here I'm the GM. I play everyone who isn't a player character. So that'll be most of the aliens, any bad guys, stuff like that. That's me. Zerolon.
Hey, that's me. I am Zerolon. You can find me over at Four Cozy Cat Games, where my wife and I play some board games. Our last one we did was assembling a puzzle. This Sunday, we're going to go back on live, continuing our puzzle. It's fantastic. It's Tiamat. So it's, you think it'd be colorful, but it's just all brown. I might even open up some Discord if anybody wants to come in and talk some nerdy stuff during it. Here I am Dr. Hobnall, the doctor with lots and lots of face holes.
Yes.
And I have...
None of which is a mouth.
To celebrate our return now after all of this time, I have joined Jordan in the Bowtie Club.
Very cool. All right.
Cool.
Craig.
Hello, my name is Craig. I run the YouTube channel FTFE, where I bang my head against the desk because people are dumb, basically. Yeah. I got told by a flat earther the other day that compasses only work on a flat earth because that's north, that's south, that's east, and that's west. And I just started to cry, basically. So
wow.
Yeah, come and find me there. It's a lot of fun. On this show, I play the ex-Borg Klingon, 7 of 12, Tactical Node 3, species 5008, who was captured by the Borg and then uncaptured and deborgified and went to Starfleet Academy and is now best friends with a floating robot.
Sounds about right. All right, Tiri.
Hello, I'm Tiri Rana. I don't have a YouTube channel, but even I know that north is always up and west is always left.
True, yeah.
Which is why I'm playing Petty Officer Billy, the astronavigator and helm's whale of the USS Kongji.
My favorite is that up is always the way you're, north is always the way you're facing. I've definitely had people who seem to assume that way is always north, no matter which way I face. And it's like, that's worse than flat earthers.
You failed that mini-map in computer gaming.
If you walked far enough, unless you're like perfectly east-west, I think it would eventually become north, right?
It would drift north unless you're like taking a great circle route on the equator.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you follow
eventually.
the lines of latitude, obviously it would always stay east to west. But if you follow like a chord line, you would eventually end up going north.
Yeah, eventually. Unless, like, again, you're on the equator facing exactly east or west, in which case, no. Yeah. Something that the flat earthers will never get. But anyway, Maddie, who are you?
Oh, hey team, I'm Maddie. You can find me on the internet at Science Side Up, where I do science debunking, or at my own TTRPG channel, which is called OK Roll. And here on Top Hats Off, I play Lieutenant Commander Gloriana Dulas, your Betazoid Chief of Engineering, and definitely has been following my workout routine. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, I saw the recent body scans. I'm going to have to up your cardio.
You're not in charge of me.
You're also probably not supposed to be looking at other people's body scans and private medical records.
Yeah.
Well, as the chief of, in charge of tactical, I have to make sure my shipmates are perfectly fit and able to do their job.
I'm just saying, let's hope Hobnall never finds out that you're doing that.
Yeah, I might need to up my security in sickbay.
Alright, in case anyone was wondering, the channel's recent doubt, Chesh's channel, Goblin Queen Chesh, FTFE official, Debate Hub official, which is another one of Chesh's channels, OK Roll, Cozy Cat Games, Science Side Up, and my main channel are all linked in the description. So if you are not subscribed to anyone here and you want to be, you can fix that pretty easily. Let's get into it. So you guys are now back in Narendra Station, which is the station from which most of your missions are launched. It is a station that is on the edge of the Shackleton Expanse. It is near the border between the Klingon and the Federation, so that they both have pretty easy access to it, even though, I mean, they have like a military access thing. They can fly ships through each other, but whatever. The exterior looks a lot like the smaller version of the Earth Station 1 around Earth that you might have seen in some of the Star Trek movies. But the interior has been primarily designed and built by Klingons. So it has a lot of red lighting and bare metal and a lot of angular hull plates and whatnot. Or, well, I mean, I guess not bulkheads, I suppose, more appropriately. But it also has a pretty significant civilian presence. There are shops, there are restaurants, bars. It's got an area that's very similar to the Promenade on Deep Space Nine, although it's smaller in circumference, but it's still a big area that you can walk around in a big circuit and find all sorts of bars and whatnot, and restaurants, hollow suites, pretty much anything that you would want to do as a recreation. You can probably find something to do there. And you are here because right now you are having a sensor upgrade. So what that means in terms of in-universe is that there are technicians working on the Kong Z to upgrade your sensors, but in-game what it means is that I have upgraded your sensor by 1 point. So, congratulations, your ship has leveled up by 1.
Good shit on it.
Yeah, according to the actual rules, I'm supposed to just remember to, like, reduce the difficulty of all sensor actions by 1 or something. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm never going to remember that. So
that makes a lot more sense. I mean, it would come out to the same thing, basically.
Pretty much. So. Technically, lowering it by 1 would be a little bit better, but, like, I'm not going to remember to do it, so it would actually be worse for you guys, because I promise I'd forget. So we're going to go through it, and we're going to see what people are up to, and, you know, what kind of stuff they get up to on space stations. So, let's start. We're going to go in reverse order this time. So, Jordan, what is Commander Va up to now that there is some downtime on Narendra Station?
So, while we were on our way, since I'm in command, I've been using the time to run the crew through more, like, tactically facing drills, boarding drills and stuff like that. But when I heard there was a Dabo table, all drills were canceled, and that is where I have been since we docked at the station.
All right. Just gambling away whatever that Starfleet paycheck is.
I mean, I'm still doing my job, but in my downtime, it's straight to the Dabo table. with a
Alright.
bowl of like Klingon like Gake or Gak or something.
Gok.
Alright. Well, I feel like the Ferengi would actually like Gah. 'Cause they also enjoy eating worms and grubs and whatnot. So I bet they actually serve pretty decent Gah at the Ferengi gambling establishment. Alright, so
Along with the tube worms.
yeah, you gotta get those tube grubs. Fresh tube grubs, so they're still
grubs.
wriggling.
Gotta be fresh, yeah.
Yeah. Unless you're still a kid, in which case your mom's supposed to chew it up for you.
You're supposed to only be a kid for that. Oh.
I mean, look, whatever crazy age play you get up to with your Ferengi wife, that is up to you.
After you're no longer a kid, they start charging.
Well, yeah.
Unless they are your wife.
Well, especially if you get one of those
It's
temporary
probably
marriage
that
contracts,
even then,
like Rom had, where
Yeah.
once the time's up,
Treat-
you get a buyout option. But if you don't exercise it, she's gone.
Treat your employees like your family. Exploit them fully.
Yeah.
Yes, Maddie, what are you up to?
Oh, well, okay, so please imagine, Realize she's in the cutest little matching yoga outfit, right? Pilates outfit, and has the Stanley, right? The equivalent of the giant Stanley cup, and is sipping it, and has just finished her the Pilates class at the nice boutique place fitness center here on the station. That's her favorite thing to do when they are docked. But today she talked Tack into joining her, so we've got. So I'll hand it over to him because she's just had the time of her life. This is what fitness is supposed to be. There's a cute outfit. This Stanley is actually full of like a matcha, right?
Did I have to also wear an outfit that matches yours? This feels ridiculous. Commander Dulles, you didn't tell me that it would be so hard. Everything hurts. Okay, you don't have to go to the gym anymore. Don't ever make me do that again.
I'm so glad you came, though. Isn't that just so much better than the running you make me do?
I have to lose the bag that had my uniform in. I'm still wearing this ridiculous outfit.
Oh, what? You look adorable. No. You should dress like this all the time.
Let's just go and find the commander and
we'll
see
be
if he can get a
besties.
spare uniform.
Sapphire
Okay.
Science Nimby's Light says, does the outfit have pockets? And the answer is no. This is Star Trek. No one has pockets except the Ferengi. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Klingons have
Pockets
extra
plus
holsters.
extra.
But yeah, like no one has pockets because I guess
Just imagine that scene with Troy and
Crusher, yeah.
Yeah.
Crusher. But we're both wearing the outfit that Crusher wore.
there you go. The one that tastefully outlines the breasts for some reason.
Yeah, with the big socks for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Star Trek has got some very strange costumes. Part of that was basically in an effort to avoid being censored, they would show lots of skin, but skin that the censors didn't care about, like the back or the side of the torso.
Builds.
It was just like, okay. All right, what is Petty Officer Billy up to? There are some facilities for cetaceans on board. They are less full-featured, I would say, than the ones for the humanoids, because, well, quite frankly, the station gets a lot fewer aquatic visitors. But there are some cetaceans working in stellar cartography for the Federation. There are also a few Xindi aquatics that you could chat with if you wanted to, who also have similar jobs there. Because the Xindi did, in fact, eventually join the Federation.
I will definitely try to find a bar or restaurant or whatever that is able to make me a proper root beer float, which it probably won't, but I'll try. And after that, I'll probably hang out with some of the aquatic species and try to get them to do some karaoke.
What if,
How
like,
do you drink that?
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Like, how do you actually get the root
With
beer
a
float
long
in?
straw.
But you don't have movable lips.
Or hands?
Modern technology.
Okay,
This is Star Trek.
I have a suit that has grabby arms.
that's true.
We
you
can
do.
figure out how to deliver a root beer float to a aquatic
Do they
mammal,
just pour it into your blowhole? You have a
Oh, that's
blowhole,
good.
right?
That's his nose. You don't want root beer up your
That's
nose.
not a good idea.
Craig, how do you drink root beer? Do you just
You
funnel it
do it
into
like
your
that?
nose? Craig, the next time I see you take a drink on stream, you better have a funnel and pour it into a straw going into your nose. Alright. Zeralon, what are you up to?
Hopnell has found a nice Klingon restaurant and is currently arguing with them to get them to understand that while he agrees that it probably is, more traditional to eat the gok live, he doesn't have a mouth and needs it pureed.
Okay. Well, to be fair, leftover gach is also it's sort of like leftover pizza for humans with Klingons. It's obviously not as good as fresh, but, like, it's not bad. You'll take it. So they probably have some leftover gach that you can have.
I mean, I have legit bought a pizza just to stick it in the fridge to eat it cold the next day.
I have two. Mm-hmm. Yep.
It tastes so much better.
No. But I was going to say you probably got a couple weird looks going at the restaurant and asking them for their leftovers. But
Yeah, O&B, Magnochondria are the powerhouse of the soul, says blowhole does not connect to the mouth, despite what cartoonists insist. It's true, yeah. Even though normally mammal noses do connect to the mouth, the blowhole actually does not. Cetaceans are weird, man.
Straight into his lungs.
Yep.
Dolphins also don't smell with their blowhole.
It's true. Actually, cetaceans have a full set of genes for smelling things in air, and every single one of them is broken. Every last one.
God designed them so perfectly.
Exactly. All right, Broken Ship. What is a tiny little robot up to on a space station full of mostly humanoids?
I know exactly.
Why is it Prime?
I know exactly where I'm going. So, I'm going to any kind of gambling table that has cards.
Okay, so
And
you're hanging out with Commander Va then at the Dabo table, I suppose.
Sure.
Oh, wait, no,
I am
that's
card
I'm
counting.
thinking of Tongo. Tongo is the one with the cards. Dabo is just a wheel.
yeah, it's like space roulette.
Yeah, Tongo is what I'm thinking of, which also has a wheel, which is confusing. Do all Ferengi games have a wheel?
Possibly.
Hey, wheels are cool.
All right.
Wheel
yeah.
of Fortune.
Wait, the robot just
manipulate.
the robot just said that he's card counting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And everybody at the table that I'm at is getting more and more angry by the moment. So
Because you're just winning.
yes.
What voice are you using? Please say it's like a totally mocking voice.
24 hands winning in a row.
All right.
You've got it.
As you are, you have won another hand, and the cards are being collected by the dealer, who is a very attractive-looking alien of a species that you can't quite identify, because there's a lot of species out there. There is a rather forceful tap on the top of your robotness body. I don't know. And you look up, and
Yes,
there is
what are you needing of me?
there is a very tall Nausicaan standing right behind you.
Yes, hello. What are you needing?
I've been instructed to inform you that you're done playing for the day. You should collect your winnings and be on your way.
Okay, I am doing. And I start doing that. However I do that.
As you start leaving, you notice that there is a Ferengi bartender who is posting up a little picture of you on a wall, and it says, "Do not serve."
And you start getting faster and faster.
Well, alright, I will leave this establishment.
So, Commander Va, you notice that one of your part of your crew is currently being kicked out of the Ferengi casino. Do you have any reaction?
So, when I see the Nausicaan show up and like tap Chip, I'll like my hand will drift down to my dagger and I'll watch the situation. But when he's just getting kicked out and like banned from the thing, I'll just shrug and go back to Dabo.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, no violence.
Priorities.
So. But
It
yeah,
took a couple of seconds for your eyes to flip back to the table.
In the meantime, you'd think maybe your chips have been changed, but it's not clear. You aren't playing with a bunch of
I'm not-
Ferengi.
I'm not in it for the chips. I'm in it for the love of the game.
Yes.
God,
All
Ferengi
right.
would not understand that.
Well, Ferengi don't live in a moneyless society, except they also kind of do. Well, not yet, I suppose. Because in Lower Decks, the Ferengi do join the Federation, but this is a little bit before that. But this is well into the reign of Grand Nagus Rom. So, the Ferengi are, officially at least, a kinder, gentler Ferengi. And in fact, many of the female Ferengi in this establishment are even wearing clothes.
Outrageous.
Fancy.
Well, not all of them, because as we did see, again, in Lower Decks when they went to Ferenginar, some of the female Ferengi just chose to continue with the traditional practice of going naked. They got to choose, though. That's the important thing.
Them being able to choose and also being able to actually be outside of their
Yeah.
husband's, father's, family's home is an improvement already.
Yeah, I mean, I cancelled my holiday to Ferenginar, frankly.
I mean, it is always rainy, so I don't blame you. Although, I did love that Boimler just got sucked into Ferengi TV and spent the entire time he was supposed to be gathering data for the guidebook just watching TV.
Reality TV, yeah.
My favorite was the cop landlords. That was amazing. Anyway.
I'm gonna have to rewatch Lower Decks.
It's so good. Actually, over on my server, we're about to finish our watch parties of Power Rangers, and then we're going to go on to Godzilla. But that's not going to take all that long, because there's actually not that much Godzilla if you're watching, like, 2 movies a week. And then we're doing Star Trek, so... Anyway, alright, so Commander Va, a chime comes in on your communicator.
I'll hit my communicator, say, this is Va, go ahead.
Alright, it says, Commander Va, the presence of the Captain of the Kongzi is requested at the main briefing room on the ops deck.
Understood, on my way. And I'll scoop up my winnings,
There you go.
take one last slurp of my Klingon food, and leave.
Alright, so you get up there, and there is a Klingon captain that you recognize as... I need to double check. As... Captain Ratvip. And he is the captain of the Payflovage, a Cavort class bird of prey that is stationed at Narendra Station. And in front of you is the general who is in charge of the Klingon Defense Force. But since it's a joint operation, it doesn't really matter. He says, welcome, Commander Ba, I believe.
You are correct.
Alright, I was expecting Captain Tenelia to be here, but I suppose that she is indisposed.
Yes, I'm acting captain until she returns.
Well, I have a mission for both of you. Shouldn't be too complicated. You are to escort a fleet of civilian merchant freighters to a starbase that I have to look up because the Dapper forgot what the name of it is.
Oh, what's our momentum and threat?
That's a weird name for a starbase.
Ensign Dapper over there.
Yeah. The threat right now is 12, and your momentum is 0.
Right, okay.
Let's see. Where the heck is the name of the thing?
The thing.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you're going to the small research station deep in the Shackleton Expanse. It's got a name. I don't care what it is. You'll be sent the data as to where it is. But yeah, your job is to protect the convoy. The area is dangerous with both spatial anomalies, as well as reports of various pirate ships, primarily Ferengi and Orion Syndicate.
Will it just be the Kongzi, or will there be other ships in the escort?
Oh, I called Hold here, because his ship will also be there. But just you two. It'll be you two, 4 Federation freighters, and 2 Klingon freighters. They're all civilian ships, but If they know what's good for them, they'll listen to you two.
Understood, General. And I'll turn to the captain and I'll say, Captain, I will have my tactical officer interface with your tactical officer to make sure that we work together effectively on this mission.
That seems like a good idea. Who's your tactical officer? My tactical officer will want to know.
Full name's not important. Lieutenant Tack.
That's a strange response, Commander.
It's a strange tactical officer, but he's very competent.
I see. Well, I suppose that'll have to do then. I will inform my tactical officer. I expect to be underway in 3 hours. Does that work for you, Captain?
We'll be ready.
All right. Also, Borg Emporia has been a member for 7 months, and Zumi Tomato has been a member for 7 months, so thank you very much. And then Borg Emporia sends a bunch of Klingon emojis. And Metageeky Platypus Librarian has been a member for 5 months. Thank you very much. So,
That's when I'll hit my communicator and tell the ship that they have 1.5 hours to get everyone aboard. Leave is canceled.
all right. So, anyone have any reactions to that?
Yeah,
Lieutenant Broken Chip has a cowboy hat and a mustache, just about to go back into the casino, but then turns around and goes back to the ship.
I noticed that everyone is rushing past me, and I do my best to hide so that nobody can see what I'm wearing. Unfortunately, there appears to be a group of Klingons approaching me, and I'm not sure what to do.
Wear it with honor. I will have to switch the extended director's cut edition of Titanic in the original citation to the normal version, so we can finish, and then I will return to ship.
Okay. Oh, by
Is
the way,
the
it's
is
a
the
ring-
cetacean version like from the other point of view, like underwater as the Titanic is sinking?
It's about a lone family of bottlenose whales, and then they get interrupted by some weird thing.
Is the iceberg
crashing
the
into their
hero
home.
in this version?
No, he's still at fault for everything.
Okay.
How would
It's
you
not the
think
weird
that it would
version with
be-
the mice and the Mickey Mouse head octopus and the.
Free Willy must be a weird movie from your point of view.
It's called 7 Years a Slave, actually.
That was really good.
Very good.
Oh,
That was really good.
okay. I'm gonna try to compose myself. All right.
I know who I'm voting for Spotlight.
Yeah, that joke. Well done. Well done. You win the internet today.
All right. So, Tech, there are in fact a group of Klingon
Oh.
defense force people that you look in. They're all low-ranking, but they do look and snicker at you.
I look up and just growl a bit, not knowing what to really do because I'm still struggling to connect my Klingon heritage.
Well-
and I look over at Commander Dudas and say, "We should return to the ship and
As a
run."
as a face-saving measure, you could employ one of the various traditional Klingon replacement proverbs, which are used to cover over an embarrassing mistake.
Oh, how would I do that?
Oh, by doing things like maybe saying, "Piv pop veklar."
Right, I say that.
Okay. They chuckle and keep walking. But it was less of a sneering laugh at you and more of a, that's kind of funny. And then they just keep going. They don't seem to,
What did I
Seem to
actually say
approve.
to them?
Fekler strikes again. Which is
Oh,
the
right.
Klingon devil, yeah. Yep. So basically, you're just saying the devil made me do it. Which in this case, I think would be Commander Dulles.
Mondays, am I right?
Basically, yeah.
Did I look at Dudas like as I said that?
If you wanted to.
Yeah.
I'm imagining he does like a Jim look to camera, you know, and like with the little shrug.
What you gonna do?
All right.
A scratched freeze frame.
Commander Dulles, I assume that you are with TAC on your way to the ship?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
All right, so you get to the ship, and the the crew that has been installing the new sensors say that they will be done in just about 45 minutes. They're doing their final diagnostics and sensor sweeps of the sensors. And yeah, you guys are going to be ready to head out. The computer, when consulted, is indicating that other than the captain and a few other medical leaves, the crew complement is complete aboard the Kong Z. So, you guys...
I've used internal transporters to take myself to my quarters to get a new uniform.
Yeah, that's probably appropriate. Which also means it is time to switch us to a scene with a more appropriate background noise. You guys are now on the ship. So,
Okay,
you guys are ready to get out of here. Who is flying the ship?
Probably me, unless one of the officers wants to do it.
Well, Petty Officer Billy, our beluga whale, why don't you give me a difficulty 0? Let's see. What is a good combo? I don't even know.
Well, since it's not under pressure, probably control and con.
Control and con, yeah.
Yeah, control and con. That's a good idea. Give me a difficulty 0, control and con roll.
I have a focus of helm operations.
That applies.
And
All right.
Should the ship also assist?
The ship should indeed assist with engines and con. Or structure and con, I don't really care. Alright, so that's 3 successes. We get 3 momentum. However,
sadly,
as you start heading out on thrusters, the bay doors aren't opening. Because someone rolled a 20.
anyone else seeing this?
Hold on. The bay door's like to leave the docking bay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're inside that big little mushroom area, and it has 4 doors, one in each cardinal direction, I suppose. Well, I guess cardinal directions don't work in space, but whatever, you get what I mean. They're all offset, like in a plus
We
T
right
formation.
now are in the search for Mr. Spock, where everyone is looking at them, and Scotty is like, yeah, I have it almost.
I'll order the petty officer full stop, and then call the station. Narendra Station Ops, this is Kong Z.
This is Station Ops.
You planning on opening these doors, Ops, or are we going to wait here all day?
Oh, which doors do you need? What's going on?
The ones in front of me, Ops. We'd like to leave the station.
Oh, yeah, hold on. There's a loud little, click and some beeps. And suddenly the doors start struggling open. Yeah, sorry, those doors were under maintenance and it looks like someone screwed up.
Sure, I could speed up with a quick torpedo.
We would prefer that you not do that.
That will not be
Fine.
necessary, Lieutenant. Kong Z out.
I never had the
Well.
fun.
This mission is off to a great start.
The bay door guys were on shore leave also.
All right. As you clear the bay, you see that there is a line of civilian ships who have assembled into a formation, and they're sort of station keeping a few station radii away. And over to your starboard, the Klingon bird of prey, the Pavlovich, is swooping around to come up in formation over to their port, the line of ships.
All right.
Like to enter formation?
Say again?
I was going to say, do you want to get in formation with them or what?
Yeah, we'll stick in formation. Yeah.
So, as you get in, you are hailed by the Pavlovich, who says, Kong Z, we have a navigational route if you want to check it. Our plan is to get everyone at warp 4. These rust buckets over there can't manage much more than 4 for cruising speed.
Quick tactical question. Are we sharing shields with the ships like they sometimes do in Convoy, or are we keeping individual shields?
Currently, you are not sharing shields. That might change.
All right. I will forward the navigational plan to our astro navigator, who I don't think we officially have one, but the ship has one somewhere.
Probably Instantation Ops.
Yeah. And I will instruct TAC to make contact with each of the 4, or I guess we have 6 freighters actually. I want reports every 4 hours from each of the freighters on their system status.
Yes, sir. I've sent communications to each, and said we will set up a schedule to get communication reports to you every 4 hours.
All right. Looks like we're about to set off. I have a timer set for 20 minutes till we all work together. Is it all right if I have... This is still captain of the Klingon ship. I think the entire convoy should slave their ship timer to mine.
Sounds good. Make it happen, Billy.
Bahod, Kaplan. And then the communication just cuts off. Alright, so 20 minutes later, everyone jumps to warp at warp 4. And you begin your fairly lengthy journey. This is probably going to take at least a few days to get out there.
Yeah, warp 4.
Yeah, well, I mean, civilian freighters aren't exactly known for, like, pushing the warp barrier or anything. They're not going to be going...
Archer class, or whatever it was called, had, like, warp 5 engines.
But that was on the old scale.
Yeah.
That was back in TNG when you could just go warp 13 and that was fine. So warp 4 on the TNG scale is much faster than warp 5 on the TOS scale.
Okay.
Sorry. What was that, Commander Bob?
I was just going to say that since it's going to be a few days, that's far too long to be like on yellow alert the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah. But I will have the crew be at like a quote-unquote heightened level of alert.
Brown alert.
Brown alert,
every,
yes.
like, every 2 hours, just go yellow alert and then turn it off.
Well, the yellow alert flashes on and off. You're only on yellow alert when it's actually, lit up. That second where it's not, you can go off alert for that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just put the alert system somewhere between Morv and Summon.
Oh, there we go. Alright, so, as you're going, who's on sensors?
I guess I am at tactical.
Alright.
Well, usually Hobnall does that because it's usually a science-related thing.
Right.
Well, Hobnall's in the science base, so we'll say... What's the supporting character that we have that's a science officer? I know we have one.
Jopkins? Han Jopkins?
Yeah, Han Jopkins. Alright, Han Jopkins. Oh, yes, our Bolian. So, Han Jopkins... Now, I'm not saying that anyone should necessarily take him as their active character just right now, but Han Jopkins does report. Captain Va? I'm getting odd readings on the sensors.
Define odd for me, Lieutenant.
Well, it's like sensor ghosts. Every once in a while, I pick up something that the sensors pick up as a planetoid, or a ship, or sometimes just some radiation, and then it just drops off the sensors.
Well, we did just get our sensors overhauled. Reach out to our counterparts in the Klingon Bird of Prey and see if they're detecting the same thing.
Can I, if we just upgraded our sensors, can I be doing, like, I want to, like, I want to make sure they installed everything right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can be working on that. So I'm also going to say that the Klingon ship, as well as the civilian ships, are also reporting weird sensor readings. And also, as you're looking through the sensors and what they've been doing, Commander Va, you're also noticing that there are weird power fluctuations happening. And currently, they don't seem dangerous, but every once in a while, like, a light will flicker, or the power throughput of, like, an ODN relay will just drop a little bit for no obvious reason.
The turbo lift does a barrel roll?
No, it doesn't do that. They're on ramps. But they do start... But they do... Well... we're not going to talk about the TARDIS Discovery. Just not going to talk about that. Discovery that's, like, bigger than Earth's space dock on the inside, somehow.
Yeah.
By the way, when we watch Star Trek, we're not watching Discovery. It's not happening.
Confirmed.
I'm most of the way through Enterprise right now.
Yeah, we're gonna start with Enterprise. Anyway, so yeah, the turbolifts though, they are every once in a while slowing down a little bit or speeding up just a little bit. So the ride on the turbolifts is a little jerky, which, in case you're wondering, is the third integral of distance or time?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a shirt that says "Don't be a," and it has the symbol for third integral of distance with respect to time.
There you go. I like it. Yep, because there's first is you get speed, then acceleration, then jerk. Good stuff. I remember math. Kind of. Anyway, so as time is going, as you're continuing on your convoy route, the errors start to become a little bit more noticeable, and there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with the ship that anyone can find. But hey, why don't you give me a difficulty 0 reason and engineering there, Commander Va, unless you would prefer control and engineering, in which case I'll take that.
Let me pull up my sheet.
Oh, I'm sorry, I meant Commander Dulles.
Good, because
Okay,
I am
good.
not good at engineering.
I'm sorry,
That was-
I don't know why I said Commander Va, my apologies.
Control engineering? That's one of my favorite things to do.
Alright then.
I just want to double check. The other ships aren't seeing anything, or did
They
I miss
are
that?
also seeing things.
No, they said
Oh,
they
okay.
see the same.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's. I was gonna
my brain
I was gonna
erased that, so thank you.
order like diagnostics and stuff, but if everyone is seeing it, then it's not our brand new sensors.
I think the worst thing that's happening with the ship right now is the lumbar support on my chair isn't working, and after that Pilates class, I kind of need it.
Alright,
No.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that you gained momentum, but
Okay.
also I gained a point of threat. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
here's what you can tell. Nothing that you can find about the internal configuration of any component on the ship is off. And because the other ships are also experiencing this, it seems extremely likely that this is something that is external and is perhaps some kind of spatial anomaly, or you're entering some kind of radiation field that the sensors aren't picking up, or something like that. But it's
Okay.
not
So,
internal
like,
to the ship.
I report back that the sensor ghost is more ghost than it is sensor. There's nothing wrong with our sensors. There's something out there that we're not picking up correctly.
Then I will task our science department to figure out what the heck is going on before it
Okay,
becomes a problem.
I immediately do a scan as much as I can for any kind of cloaked vessel.
All right. All right. So, let's see. I am going to ask for a few different things here. So, one, the science types. I would like someone who's doing a science thing to give me a reason and science check that is going to be backed up by the computer and sensors on the ship.
Computer and
I have
sensors
a
are
15
both
in that.
systems.
Oh yeah, I meant sensors and science. I'm sorry. Look,
Got it.
it's my first time in like a month running this game, so I'm a little off.
The ship gave us one success.
Okay,
I have a 15 in those things.
it seems like a
Just
pretty reasonable
some-
thing for you to do then.
Sounds
Okay.
like you win.
This is gonna be
I'll do
difficulty
that.
2, by the way.
Sorry, you said something?
Difficulty
I didn't
2,
hear.
but the starship has already given
Difficulty
us
2,
one
okay.
success, so you only really
And we
need
have 4 momentum by my count.
one. Oh, 3. We've changed scenes. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, I missed that. Okay.
My note says 15.
Four momentum. And
Wow.
how many threats? Sorry.
13.
We have 3
threat.
momentum and 13 threat.
I
momentum
will
and
spend
13 threat.
one. I will
Okay.
spend one.
So we have 2 momentum. Okay.
All
I
right.
got 3.
All right. Well, in
I
that case,
forgot
we
to
now
change.
have 4 momentum.
Okay, 4.
So you are actually sensing that there is in fact a radiation field out there, although it is hard to detect because it is apparently a new kind of radiation. Because get out of here, standard model of particle physics in your particle zoo. This is Star Trek, and we got more particles than you know what to do with. Because string theory or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we are traveling at warp, but if we open, can we open the windows?
That's usually not advised on starships. Just
What do you
No,
mean
but
by
I mean,
open?
so we can visually see out.
Yeah,
see
nothing
if there's
normally
something.
blocks any of the windows that exist on the ship just because you're at
Okay,
warp.
so we can see out.
basically, we go to the
Do we
window.
see anything visually outside there, or
Yeah,
is it
you
just
see
nothing?
the stars that streak by. This isn't 40K where if you look out while at warp, suddenly demons enter your brain and you explode.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, that sounds fun.
I just
Craig, stay
wanted to
tuned
make
for
sure
after
that.
Star Trek Endurance because the next game that I play is going to be a 40K game. So
Or the
Yeah, I
Emperor.
just wanted to make sure that we can't physically see something out there.
not anything that
know-
you don't normally see.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, I am going to spend.
The sensor ghosts of something that is. Oh, it's more ghost than sensor. So there's something there, but we can't visually see it or pick it up properly on sensors.
Okay.
So, and you said it's a new kind of radiation. Is there any way that we tune our sensors to that radiation?
There probably is.
Modulate our shields.
But I am spending 4 threat. And an alarm comes in over on the bridge because you detected an explosion over on the IKS Pay-Kovij, as well as one of the Federation-aligned civilian vessels, both of which have just suddenly dropped out of warp.
All right, red alert. Now,
No, hold on.
Someone's going to have to change the bulb. Sorry, it's got to be done.
Yeah.
order the convoy to full stop. Hail the Klingons.
All right. The captain answers the hail and says, "Captain, we've suffered an explosion on in our reactor pit.
What's the status of your vessel? Are you going to be able to continue?
Currently, we're engaged in repairs, but we took heavy casualties among the engineering crew."
Understood. Do you require assistance?
Much as I prefer not to accept assistance, it probably would help with the mission, which is more important than my crew's sense of pride and accomplishment.
I appreciate the practicality.
Are you detecting the source of what's caused this?
It's not clear, but you have better sensors than we do.
All
Fair
right.
enough, so we should get there and see if we can see anything.
We're going to send repair crews to the freighter and to the Klingons. We're going to bring the rest of the freighters close in, since we basically only have one ship guarding us now, and we're sitting ducks. And then I'm going to bring the science department in with the engineering department into the briefing room, because we need a solution for this post-haste.
All right, so 2 engineering crews over to the Pay-Kovij and one of the freighters is going to cost you 2 of your crew support, so make sure that you knock those off of your current crew support.
Got it.
Oh, by the way, the directives for this mission are the prime directive, and also make sure the convoy gets to the station safely. In case that wasn't
Yeah. Our
obvious.
escort mission, we need to do the escort.
Yeah, the directive
Makes
is
sense.
do the mission. All right, so let's see. First we're going to go through the briefing that you want to do with the science and engineering department. So go for that, Commander Va. Or sorry, Captain Va, because currently you're acting captain.
Do they address the acting captain as captain?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Captain is both a rank and a title.
Yeah, currently you have
Right.
the title of captain, but not the rank.
All right, then. Who is the head of our science department? Would that be Hobnall? I mean, he's a doctor.
No, he'd be head of medical. You could just say that Han Jopkins is, and if you want, someone could jump in as that person. Maybe someone who isn't in either engineering or science. It might be a good role for either, for Necro or Tiri or Craig or something in this scene.
Chip is good at science.
I'm just
true.
good at them, but yeah. So I could be there, but...
We could have it
Yeah.
be TAC if you want to activate Han Jopkins, or maybe Tiri if you want to activate Han Jopkins.
If there's not much piloting to do right now, I could, yeah.
I mean, it's up to you. We also don't have to. We can just leave Han Jopkins out of it. Although I will say John
real quick,
Hopkins is in
What was
chat.
our current momentum and threat?
Current
4
momentum
momentum, 9
is.
threat.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that, Craig. One more
4
time.
momentum, 9 threat. Are you just going to track it on there? How that works?
4 momentum. So, does anyone want to activate a supporting character? Yes or no?
Well, yeah, we could do John Hopkins.
Who wants to?
Do you want to do it, Terry, or do you want me to?
I'll do it.
All right.
Okay.
So, Tyr, you are using, let's see, Han Jopkins, our Bolian, who I unfortunately don't have the character art for handy because, well,
You're not Chesh.
I'm not Chesh, yeah. Basically.
I'm very disappointed that
Made
you're
it,
not
but
Chesh.
didn't
Did you
upload
even-
it to the game
Did
yet.
you even try to be Chesh? I'm going to ask you, frankly, did you even attempt it?
No. I didn't do anything to get, like, Canadian citizenship, transition my gender, become a goblin, change my hairstyle, become much, much, much shorter than I actually am.
Look, I'm not going to say I'm angry. I'm just a little disappointed.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
you
You know,
didn't
I-
even try. You didn't even
Also-
try.
Think
I did
some
try for
way-
Canadian citizenship. I could not drink enough maple syrup.
I actually looked into Canadian citizenship through Ancestry, and it turns out that having grandparents who were Canadian is not sufficient to get yourself a Canadian passport.
Yeah.
Parents who lived there,
My mom-
or something like that.
Yeah.
My grandmother was from Newfoundland, which at the time was British, and she would roll in her grave if we called her Canadian, but my mom might use it anyway.
I would encourage her to
my
do so.
clan moved. A bunch of my clan moved to Canada in like the early 1900s and kind of took over quite a large area of it.
Ooh, so you're Canadian royalty.
Well, no, my side stayed in Scotland.
Yeah, but like you get the family connection.
Yeah.
All right, so Han Jopkins still has the ability to gain a focus or a talent.
I'll be back in 1 minute, okay?
We could do a focus in like
Useful
exotic
focus.
particles
Yeah,
or exotic radiation.
I think exotic particles would probably be better. Probably
Good idea.
broader and better overall.
I'll
Alright.
add that.
Oh, I just did, so don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Exotic particles. New focus there on Han Jopkins. All right.
He's an expert in xenobiology, temporal mechanics, geology, and exotic particles. This guy
Yeah.
has a broad range of
That's right.
talents.
And he's just a Lieutenant
overcompensating for
JG.
being a Bolian.
At some point, someone's going to have to spend some of their accolades or whatever they are on getting Han Jopkins a promotion.
You know, I've got plenty of medals. I am going to make it my personal mission to get Jopkins promoted.
All right.
Amazing.
He's got PhDs. He's just wiping his butt with them.
All right. Actually, I saw something. Someone said that the idea of reading for pleasure implies the idea of reading for pain, and then there was a response to that was like, yeah, it's called a PhD.
You read Ayn
There you
Rand.
Maddie, as I think the only PhD here, can you confirm that getting your PhD counts as reading for pain?
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting your PhD is what, yes. Getting your PhD is the process of coming to hate things you thought you loved.
Right.
Like
'Cause-
books.
Actually, now that I think about it, this is one of the only things that I do regularly where there's a call with like more than one person, and there's like not at least a third or more of the people are PhDs that I've ever do.
Yeah, you kind of
why I've only got
collect
2 bachelors.
PhDs, but as in
Yeah.
you collect people with them as opposed to collecting the degrees yourself.
Yeah.
Also, anybody in media who's like, you know how we'll prove this person's really smart? They have 2 PhDs. And I'm like, no. That proves they're masochistic.
Why'd they do it again?
Yeah.
Why would you ever do it again?
All right. So, Commander Vaughn, take away the briefing. Go ahead.
All right, I want a status report from Lieutenant Jopkins on identifying the source of this radiation, and then I want a status report from Dulis on modulating the shields or whatever we're going to do to shield us from this radiation.
All right. So there's a few things. One, I will say that Han Jopkins has already scanned, but I want the scan roll to be rolled right now. Right. So we'll just assume that this is a task that you conducted in the past. This is going to be a difficulty 3 reason and sciences, and it can be assisted by the ship's sensors and science.
Okay. Difficulty
The ship
3.
helped.
I still would like to spend 1 momentum on that.
Okay, that'll bring us down to 3 momentum.
All right. Well, that
Choice,
is
apparently.
a success. Yep. I also your brand new, what is it? Focus would have applied. I don't know if that makes a difference. What did you roll
that
here?
is why I have 2
18,
successes,
18.
because that's
Oh, right. Yeah.
2.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
that made the difference between us succeeding and not succeeding.
All right. So it turns out that there are particles that are charged, and they're acting somewhat like electrons, but they seem to have a different mass, and they are in a bunch of eddies that are all over the place here. If you would like, you could gain more information via the obtain information spend with your momentum that you still have 3 of, but that is what you've got so far.
do we want to spend more momentum?
Yeah, I think so. We need to know what... It's
Yeah, we
blowing
need to
up
know what's
ships
going on.
now, so...
Yeah. Let's find out more about these weird eddy electrons.
How many
We'll click on, do you want to know more?
How many points of momentum would you like to spend on learning more?
Oh.
Oh?
I have more than one thing that you could
Interesting
learn
question.
for additional momentum. I'll tell you what, I'll tell
Can
you
we
the
sell
first
it?
one for 1 momentum, and then we'll see if you want to continue learning more. Alright, so
Yes.
the
Spend
electromagnetic
one-
the electromagnetic eddies in the region are actually components of a much larger interstellar cloud spanning this part of the Shackleton Expanse. The cloud consists of gas, dust, and plasma.
Okay.
Would you like to learn more? Sorry, would you like to know more?
Yes.
I feel like we would like to know more, yeah.
So you're now down to 1 momentum. In addition to the above, an analysis of eddy drift patterns suggests that some of the eddies are not naturally occurring.
That is good to know.
Some of them.
You have 1 more momentum that you could spend.
I'd say spend it. We need to
Yeah.
solve this problem.
Okay.
Yeah, let's find out as much as we can.
The sensor operator, that's Han Jopkins, catches you caught a momentary glimpse of one such non-natural electromagnetic eddy actually opening and closing, emitting what the computer identifies as transdimensional ionic energy before the eddy collapses into a mix of electromagnetic radiation and dust. Your attempts to focus on the transdimensional reading proves fruitless. It was there for a moment, but then collapsed. That's all you got.
Did you say photonic energy?
I said transdimensional ionic energy.
Right.
There's a parallel dimension and it's right next to us and it's shooting us.
Technically, it would always be right next to you.
But
The
there you
dimensions...
go.
An alternate dimension is shooting at us. Thank you for...
That's what it
no
seems
boring days at Starfleet.
Also, parallel dimensions are very, very boring. Orthogonal dimensions, that's where it's at.
So, to be fair, none of the eddies seem to be directly focused towards you, but the ones that come near are causing problems.
Interfering, okay.
And you said that you wanted to adjust the shield emitters.
Yeah, I want to see if engineering can work some magic, modulating the shields, use the deflector dish in order to shield us and the rest of the convoy from this hazard.
Okay.
Can I have been working on that leading up to this meeting?
I would say that because it's something that you only found out about during the meeting, in terms of disseminating it to the crew, it would be an order that would have to be given during the meeting or afterwards.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So I will work on that as soon as this meeting is over.
Right. Is there anything else during the meeting that you want to say, anyone?
I'm going to... Sorry, are you talking to me or Dulles?
That was to anyone. So,
I'm going to tell the commander that your efforts are the top priority for the crew. Feel free to take personnel from any other department as needed.
I'm just going to ask
Excellent,
what
sir. Thank
I
you.
should do. Is there any threat that we think could happen to the ship? Should I have weapons on standby?
Well, we're going to back us, since this was not an attack, we're going to go back down to yellow alert, but we're going to maintain ourselves there until the repairs are effected on the Klingons.
From the sensor readings that we have collected, the weapons are not going to help with this. At
I mean,
least not until we know more.
I disagree. I can always blow something up.
My
The
concern,
problem is that there's nothing to blow up right now.
my concern
There's
is
always something
not
to blow up.
not the eddies itself in terms of like, so they are a problem that we're trying to fix. My concern is the pirates taking advantage of our weakened state. And that's why I'm keeping us in high alert.
All right.
Is definitely a concern that
keep-
sensor readings
I
can't
keep clicking the link to know more, but it doesn't work.
By the way, my intent is to see if I can modify our shields, and then I want to get on the repair crew for the most damaged of either the Klingon or the freighter, whichever is more damaged. I want to go work on that as soon as I get
say
these
that's
shield
the
modifications.
Klingon ship. All right.
Okay.
So give me a reason and engineering check. This is going to be difficulty 2, and it is assisted by the ship's structure and engineering.
Okay, reason engineering. We love it.
Ship is on fire today.
Yeah, it just hasn't failed to roll yet.
Nice. I'm trying to. Would my focusing computers help?
No.
Okay. What about power systems?
No.
Okay. I'll stop. I won't ask about every single one of my focuses.
I mean, hey, you still got one more than needed, so you're up to 1 momentum.
Hey,
All right, so
we've got a momentum.
there is good news and bad news. The good news is that you have managed to successfully adjust your shields and are able to send this adjustment to everyone else. However, the bad news is that while this is going, I'm going to spend 2 Brett to introduce a complication, which is that as a result of these changes, your shields are actually less effective against weapons fire. And so, for now, your maximum shield value is reduced by 3, as is everyone else's.
Oh.
Okay.
It's an acceptable
So
trade-off.
while all this weird is going on and we're being bombarded with weird radiation, Hobno's going to be in sick bay doing medical-related scans on it as much as he can. Just that way, if something does become a medical emergency, he knows, before people start turning into tarantulas or something.
Yes, yeah, tarantula people would probably be bad. Also, I mean, you don't want Tack to turn into a weird crab monster. Or Dulles to turn into a frog.
Not again.
Yeah.
Or the captain and someone else to turn into slug people and make babies. Oh, was that just in Voyager?
Yeah, that was just in Voyager. But, so yeah, the future of humans is salamanders, but apparently the past of betazoids is frogs.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and the past of Klingons is crab monsters. And the past of humans is somehow spiders, even though that doesn't make a damn bit of sense at
Yeah,
all.
I was going to say, isn't in Star Trek humans evolved from spiders or something?
Well, yes, but also Riker turned into some kind of, caveman, and Picard turned into, a loris or something. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. And
and then they later on established that, all the sentient races have, some, genetic tie together.
And also, cats evolved from iguanas, somehow, is another thing that Star Trek seems to have established. Because Spot turned into... Yeah, in the same episode with the de-evolution, Spot turned into an iguana.
That was such a weird episode.
It was... Look, of all the sciences that the writing staff from Star Trek The Next Generation don't understand, they understand biology the least.
Yeah. Also, the whole Klingon thing doesn't make any sense because everyone knows once you evolve to crab, you never go back.
Well... I don't know what to tell you. Alright. Also, the carcinization thing has only ever happened with decapods. It's not actually a universal rule of evolution. It's a common trend among one clade of crustaceans.
Blasphemy. All crab.
All crab.
Yeah,
Everything is always crab.
Full of crabs.
I mean, hey, maybe.
Humans are the crabs of mammals.
Alright, so, let's see. I'm going to say that, Maddie, you have a difficulty 2 control and engineering check to make, but it will be taking a while. So, what we're going to do is we're actually going to take a quick break because I am pretty much out of beverage and I could use a quick bio break. And so when we come back, we will deal with that. And so stay tuned, everyone. I hopefully have the intermission set up correctly because, again, I don't normally do the setup for this, and I kind of waited till the last minute to do all the setting up my scenes and whatnot. So, fingers crossed, but we should be back in just a little bit. And yeah. We are back. Welcome back, everybody. So, all right. I would like to start off with the repair roll. Now, this is going to be difficulty 2. It would be difficulty 3, except that there is already an engineering team on board the Pej from... I'm sorry, Pehotvij. I forgot a glottal stop there. My apologies to all the Klingon Horjak.
Yeah, all the Klingons just stopped watching.
Yeah. Well, that's why I apologize.
You've been cancelled on Kronos. That's it.
I didn't even just apologize to all the Klingons. I apologize specifically to all the Klingon speakers. That includes non-Klingon Klingon speakers. That's why I didn't say to all the Klingon Pu. I said Klingon Horjak, which means Klingon speakers, obviously. As everyone here knows. Yeah.
Obviously, yeah.
Well, we all know it now, anyways.
I'm just going to continue on.
Exactly word for word.
I'm just going to continue on, assuming that all the players speak Klingon at least as well as I do.
I just understood something like all Klingons poo.
That is not what that means, but okay. Anyway.
Speak Klingon?
So,
I know I do, but...
Maddie, give me that control and engineering check.
Amazing. Control engineering. Do I have a momentum to spend?
1.
Yes, my tracker says 1.
All right. Okay, and
If
Julian.
nobody noticed, I added our momentum and threat to my my screen there.
Hey,
right.
and we got it right back.
And not only did you get it right back, I'm going to roll for the Pehotvij because that is also a ship that you are on that can assist. So it's going to be using its structure and engineering. It unfortunately
had a
failed.
suggestion.
Oh?
Yeah, just an idea. That they want to take 2 warp cores and just fling them into a center of a dying sun just to see what happens.
I'm not going to stop you from doing that.
Captain Va will stop you from doing that.
God damn it, you spoil sport.
Have you already tried taking 1 warp core and installing it into another warp core so you can see if you can go double warp?
Well, you do have 2.
First.
You do have 2 warp cores on board the Kongzi.
You put a warp core inside a warp core inside a warp core. Is it like exponential?
Ooh, it might be. So a couple things. One is that Jillian Palmfoot Wren said Dapper's just showing off, and we all know it. Yeah. I spent a long time learning Klingon. You think I'm not going to show off when it's actually appropriate? Come on.
I mean,
well, now I see Dapper as a Klingonist, and I love that.
Well, and then Becca Justiniano says, "There goes Top Hats off, speaking Klingon, sneaking Klingon lessons in when we least expect it. You should always expect a Klingon lesson. It is never a bad time." Sorry.
Just for a laugh one day, Dapper, is you should just walk into hospital and pretend you've got amnesia and just only speak Klingon to people.
That might be something I would do if that wouldn't be the most expensive thing I've ever done in my entire life because of America.
Who are they gonna send the bill to? Kronos?
Maybe. I don't know. Alright, so that is a success. You are well on the way to restoring power and engine capacity to the IKS Pehotvij, but it will take a little bit. However, I am going to spend 6 threat.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. So
fear.
And the solar system explodes.
Threat.
Rocks fall and we die.
Let's see.
Who knows where the rocks came from? Doesn't
I just
matter.
want to point out that there was never any confirmation that Shelby died or ever did die, so he could still be around.
It would be very, very old, but technically possible. So,
well, how do you know how a half-human Tellarite cyborg hybrid is going to age?
It's probably not going to age any slower than either of those two, and it's probably going to age faster than both.
Yeah, he wasn't very well.
Yeah. So, a ship warps in near the convoy with a configuration that you are not used to. It has what looks like a set of 4 solar sails arranged in a roughly, like X pattern across its hull. It is a sort of metallic, dark but low saturation reddish color hull. And there seems to be some kind of tail extension that is keeping what looks like some kind of living organism that is gigantic chained between energy beams that are going across the little tail. And
Kind of looks like something from the opening.
it does look like something from the opening. I will go into the Roll20 and show people on the stream the token that I have for it. So there you go. Can people see the map and everything?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
I
Cool.
can, yeah.
All right. Yeah. So this guy here is in fact the ship that warps in. Okay. So
It warps in, but it has solar sails?
Yeah, that's exactly the question I was going to ask. But I mean,
that is a good
it-
question to
it-
it
ask.
could just
Sure.
use its solar sails for for sublight speed, and there's no reason why the solar sails couldn't maybe unfurl or even just survive warp.
Just
All right.
because we said that the science the Star Trek creators did know the least about was biology, doesn't mean they were better with physics.
Also, maybe they're not even actually solar sails, and they just look like solar sails.
That's true. They could
Yeah.
just look cool
Well,
Maybe
to
their
these
version of a
people.
deflector dish. We don't know.
Yeah.
All right. I'll order.
Energy
We have a
collectors.
Kamagai Lieutenant ship. Open a channel.
I do so, and I also still have my hat and mustache.
You know what? I'm not going to stop it. Commander Va, if you feel like that uniform violation is worth your attention.
Well, in this moment, if Chip just walked onto the bridge with it, we're in an emergency, so I'm not going to stop it. However, we will be
Okay.
addressing it later.
Awesome.
Thing
All right,
is,
so
it's magnetic and he can't get it off.
as the channel
I
opens,
don't have hands. How do I...
as the channel opens, there is no visual, but a harsh sounding feminine voice comes over the hailing frequencies and says, "Unidentified alien vessels. Lower your shields and prepare for scans."
No.
This is Captain Va of the USS Kongzi, the Federation. We will not be lowering our shields, but we would be happy to speak with you and share any information you'd like to know.
Federation ship, you are in our sovereign territory. You will comply. By the way, this ship is closer in size to a Romulan warbird than it is to the Kongzi. Which means it is
Yeah, it looks
indeed
pretty
fairly big.
Yeah, I was going to say warbirds aren't small.
I mean, just from the
hello.
size of the token, it looks big.
Did they give us a name of their ship and I missed it, or have they not?
They did
identified
not.
themselves?
They have not identified themselves, other than to say that they own this territory.
Right. We're not aware that anyone owns this territory. What is the name of your species?
You are aware now. Will you comply,
suppose-
or will we have to force compliance?
We do not wish to engage in violence. Pause the stream. Red alert. However, we will defend ourselves if you force us to.
What?
But I'm sure that this can be resolved peacefully.
It can be resolved peacefully. By you lowering your shields and preparing for scans.
While they are talking, can we do scans on them?
Absolutely you can.
That sounds like a good idea.
Why don't you
I want a
give
scan
me...
of the ship, and I want to know what is their relative level of technology, since they use some kind of chained animal as their propulsion system.
Sir, I'm able to target them at a moment's notice. Just say the word.
Violence is
So
the last
what's-
resort, Lieutenant.
What's the roll
Um,
for the scan?
The roll for the scan, since I felt like Dillis was about to say something, but then she didn't.
Yeah,
Well,
go
sorry,
ahead.
I got excited. I didn't want to interrupt. Go ahead and do that.
Okay, so
Okay.
this is going to be a difficulty 1. We're gonna go daring and con on this one because you need to be fast. Otherwise, they're gonna be noticing all these scans.
Okay. I'm
And the
not
ship-
good at that, but I can try.
The ship can assist with let's see, sensors and con.
Hell yeah, Kongzi! 2 successes.
Damn.
Killing
I'll-
it.
I'll use one momentum to get a.
We promote
Get
the
it
ship.
One
I
momentum
attribute
you
this
have?
to the stellar leadership that the ship is currently under.
I had a total of 11, and I got 2 successes. So
Yep. So we are now back up to momentum 2. So here's what we've got here. It has let's see, some pulse cannons, some long guns. It's got some kind of torpedo launching bays. It looks like it's got 2 separate sets of torpedo launch tubes. It is significantly bigger than you are. And whether or not it is using some kind of animal as for some purpose, it is definitely not a slouch in terms of its technology or combat
What-
ability.
What
So-
Commander
This is-
Duelist would like to do before we make any more
Okay, go ahead.
decisions, is can am I getting a telepathic anything from the animal, who is very big and therefore has a big brain and therefore sends out thoughts far?
Well, currently you are on the Klingon ship, and I'm not actually sure that you know what's going on because you're over in the reactor pit.
But I also don't block thoughts, right?
Fair
So
enough.
if a
Just
giant
picking
brain
up anyway.
Yeah.
appears,
So you notice that there's
Yeah.
a whole ship worth of people that have appeared within your range of sensing things.
okay.
And yeah, there is also a rather very unhappy and seemingly in pain telepathic signal.
Okay. Is it a signal that, like, I can only speak telepathically with telepathic creatures, so I would like to try to reach out to that creature in pain and say, like, hey, buddy. Is it a two-way communication with that in
There's-
some sense?
There's no response.
There's no response. Okay. Can I Commander Tulas to Commander Va? Is there
Kinda busy now, Duelist.
Is there a large, in pain, angry creature around?
There is, in fact.
It doesn't like it. Whatever's happening.
Thank you for the update. Bridge out.
Okay, so the only thing
so-
I was gonna say is I send my scans to the tactical station and I put them on screen next to the call.
This
So
is something
everybody can see.
Va would know. If we were to lower our shields, could we get them back up if we were fired upon before we got hit?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like it depends on a roll.
All right. Then I don't want to engage in combat as first contact. And I'll say unidentified vessel. We will comply with lowering our shields. You have 5 standard seconds to scan.
The response comes back, thank you. We don't care about your timetables, but it shouldn't take very long anyway.
All right. Lower the shields. Be ready to put them right back up.
Alright, the shields come down, and a sensor sweep does go out. And whoever is speaking comes back and says, oh, you have some lovely cargo that we will be impounding over on one of those lovely cargo ships that you have there.
All right. We're done with this. Raise the shields, power up weapons. Unidentified vessel, we're no longer complying. You can leave the area, or you can deal with the consequences.
Alright, we are now officially entering ship combat. So, if anyone is curious as to what things you can do, I would suggest turning to what I believe is page 219 on the internal pagination of the core rulebook, because that's where combat stuff starts. Unfortunately, though, Commander Dulles, you can't do much for the Kong Z, but you can do some stuff for the Vig.
I would love to do that.
Which is still currently at not full power, but hey, you know.
Okay.
Right. Who is going to go?
I'm gonna.
Yes.
What I am going to do is try to like fix the ship I am on, starting with like, okay, shields are up, weapons, engine.
Okay.
Right. But I don't need to go first in this order. That doesn't need to be the first action.
I have 2 talents that improve the evasive action maneuver, which might be useful to do it before we get shot at.
Well,
Yeah, sounds good.
okay. But also, your shields currently are down, but I will say that all it takes is a simple task to raise them.
We should do that first
So
before we
maybe
do
that first, yeah.
So we should probably have TAC go first then.
Yeah.
Okay, right, sorry, my things all disappeared, I was just getting them back. What am I doing?
Raising shields.
Raising the shields.
Yes, I raised the shields. Yeah, I've already raised, the shields were already raised because you said put them back after 5 seconds, and I listened and I did that.
Well, I'm counting this as the first round of combat, so it's a simple task, but whatever. You can now do any of the other tasks that the tactical officer would normally do, which could include things like, I don't know, shooting phasers.
Yeah,
Ooh.
open fire.
Okay, well, I have a full spread maximum yield talent, which I'm skilled in setting up torpedo attacks. In addition to the normal benefits of a salvo, the attack also gains the benefit of the devastating attack momentum spend, as though 2 momentum have been spent. The devastating attack momentum spend may not be selected again. So I'm doing that.
Well, I mean, you were ordered to fire phasers, and also their shields are down, so photon torpedoes don't really have any extra effects while the shields are up.
Okay, so all right, I'll just fire phasers then.
And generally speaking, you use phasers to knock down the shields, and then the high yield ability of the torpedoes causes additional breaches.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I'll fire the phasers. Where would I be targeting?
Give me-
I don't really know the setup of the ship. So
While the shields are up,
guessing-
just targeting the ship is usually your best bet, because it doesn't increase the difficulty or anything, and all you're trying to do is lower those shields down. So that's going to be a difficulty...
chances of getting through the shields are not that big.
It's going to be a difficulty 2 daring and security check there. Or task, I'm sorry.
Daring, daring and security.
And this can be assisted by the ship's weapons and security.
Secure phase shield operations. Will my tactical awareness focus work here?
Yes. Yes, it will.
Okay, cool. In that case, I'm going to use just 1 momentum to get an extra dice.
Okay. All right. Well, you gain 2 momentum back, so now you're up at 3, and you can roll some damage.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at the ship's thing, and the phaser arrays have a 0 for damage, but I don't think that's right.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right.
I've been trying to find where it's listed, but the first edition book effing blows.
Yeah,
and so
it's
I can't.
not arranged very well, is it?
I think it's supposed to be 4 because the Danube class runabout has phaser banks as well, and it has a 4.
What's its security, or what's its weapons?
7, and its security is 1.
Okay, so it should be plus your security. So it's 3 plus your security. So what's the security on the ship?
Security is 2.
So, yeah, roll 5 challenge dice.
Sorry, my thing keeps disappearing.
And do remember that you need to reduce the ship's power by 1.
Right.
Done.
5 challenge dice. Done.
Alright. The phasers deal a direct hit, but there is no reduction in shield capacity.
Wait, I only rolled 3, even though I said 5.
Oh, yeah, roll again, and we'll just count the first 2 that roll. It's... The challenge dice thing is broken on here. I don't know why.
Yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. No one knows.
I
So-
rolled 5 that time.
Well, I mean, only the first 2 count, and those are both zeros.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the same thing happens. The phaser gets a direct hit on the shields, but they do not drop.
Do they reduce in power at all? Oh,
Big ships
shield,
have big resistance.
Phasers seem to be ineffective on their shield, sir.
Evasive maneuvers, Petty Officer Billy.
All right. Well, if you so is that you choosing to use your talent to keep the initiative?
Yeah. Why not?
So what you can do then is you can take a you can order after Billy to take an extra action during your turn, and that will use up your task, and you can roll a command presence check or presence command, whatever, with 1 die as an assist on the evasive maneuvers, which is, I believe, is that a difficulty 2?
So
It's difficulty 1.
Okay.
It's daring plus con, and it's assisted by the ship's structure plus con.
I'd rather hold off on my turn so I can order us to shoot more. But keep the initiative works for me or my allies, so Billy could just take his turn.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Just normally. Yep. Then I will do that.
Okay.
So I'll roll my daring plus con.
And ships, what do you want? Engines and con?
Structure and con.
The rule says.
Structure, got it.
Wow. Okay, so that's
5.
4 extra momentum.
Okay,
You're
I will
full.
immediately spend 2 of those to not give us the negative modifier that would normally be associated with the evasive maneuvers, which means we
Good
don't
call.
take a negative to our attack rolls.
All right.
Nice.
And yeah, that's my turn.
The enemy ship is going to turn to face the Kong Z, and it is going to fire its long guns at you, which are medium range.
Rude.
So let's see. I gotta figure out what the.
So evasive maneuver is just difficulty plus 1.
All right. So that is 2 successes, but does the ship itself help out? No. So it does manage to get you on a direct hit against your shields. What is?
If you got... Hold on, isn't the difficulty normally 2, and so the evasive maneuvers would have made it 3?
That is a great point. Yep, I forgot. And yeah, no, it does miss. So it hits right where you would have been had you not done evasive maneuvers.
Good job.
The first evasive maneuver that we take costs us 1 energy, so we also have to reduce that.
Got it.
Okay.
Done.
All right. So, it can be your turn. You could also give a turn to the Poltvij if you wanted to.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and let them go.
All right. So, the Poltvij is still struggling with its engines, so it is going to turn, and it is going to use its phaser cannons, but they're not terribly effective because it is at medium range, and those are a close range weapon. So it's going to be difficulty 3. And yeah, no, they miss. At which point the ship closes in on impulse power and is now in the same zone as you. And it is one of your turns again.
All right. Unless, well, I'm just going to order us to shoot again, but if Chip or Hobnall want to do something before then that would make it work better, then there's no rush.
I don't think there's much Hobnall can do right now.
Okay, well, then in that case, I will direct, because how much momentum do we have?
We have
5 tons. All right, cool. I'm going to direct you to fire at them
4.
again.
Because it would cost
4?
2 to get rid of the disadvantage from evasive maneuvers.
Right.
Yeah, so
Got
we
it.
have 4.
Okay. So we'll fire again. I will point out that we can do an immediate momentum spend for penetration.
Yep.
1 point ignores 2 points of resistance. So for this next one, we may want to dump some momentum to get rid of its, I assume, bigly resistance.
Okay, so I'll use all of the momentum.
Well, first we have to hit. So I'm allowed to assist. And think it's presence and command.
It is, yeah.
So,
Or
I'm
control.
using-
It's control and command.
I'm using
or no,
4
that's-
dice, right? Daring and security.
All right.
So you want 4 dice?
Is that right, Jordan?
Well, hold on. I can assist, so I'm going to roll 1 with my presence and command. And then... And the difficulty should be 3 because they're close range and our phasers are medium range. So let me see what I get. All right, I got 1 success. You need to get 2 successes
The ship can
in
also
order to
roll
hit.
a weapon security.
And the ship can also roll. Good call. Weapon security. The ship didn't help. All right, so you need 2 successes in order to hit.
Should I
And we have
use
4.
momentum
Yeah, you should definitely use momentum.
then? Should I get 3 or 4 dice?
I'd say... I don't know. Could go either way.
You could also give me
Dapper
threat.
doesn't have a lot of threats.
Yeah, I
so-
only have 1 threat, so you could give me threat. in
That's a
order
good
to do
point.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go 4 dice and we can just buy some more stuff with threat.
Okay,
Alright.
doing it.
Hell yeah.
All right, so that was 1.
Oh, that's
2,
a roll and a
4.
half.
So, all right, well, we're back up to 5 momentum. And that's definitely a hit. How many points would you like to spend on reducing resistance?
I'd probably say 2 points would ignore 4 resistance. Our scale is... What's our scale? Our scale is 5, and typically you have resistance about your scale, so it probably has somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 or 7 resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So if we spent 3 momentum, that would knock all the resistance down, probably, or pretty close.
Yeah, it would either knock all of it down, or they would have like maybe 1 or 2 if they have like reinforced hull or
Yeah.
whatever like that.
So I say 3 and see what happens.
All right, does that work for
And
you,
roll-
Tech? Tech?
Sorry. Yeah, what am I doing? I apologize. I got distracted.
So because you're the one actually doing the firing, technically it's up to you how much momentum to spend. The recommendation from the captain is that we spend 3 to knock down their resistance to either probably 0 or 1, maybe 2 if they have a really high resistance.
Right, so I would roll
5 challenge die.
5 times dice. Is it going to work this time?
So are you going to spend the 3 momentum?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So it definitely deals some significant damage this time.
Excellent.
Also, I gotta say, I put the nebula down in the southern part of the map together in like 20 seconds, and for a 20-second nebula,
That's pretty
It
good.
looks
Yeah.
pretty good.
yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah,
That
happy
looks
with
really
it.
good.
Did you use some kind of like mathematical equation to do that, or
Yep. So it's actually a cube, if you can believe it or not.
no? I
So-
can actually see it, to be honest.
I put in a cube in Blender, then I turned that cube into a volume, I distributed points in the volume, then I scattered them randomly with a noise texture, and then I put in a points to volume, and then I turned the volume back into a mesh, and then I used some noise textures to eat away at it, so it looked a little bit more random, and then I just put some lights in it, and now it's a nebula.
It looks pretty good.
My pareidolia is going off. I can see a face in that.
Uh-oh, maybe it's not your pareidolia. Maybe I conspired to make all those random noise textures actually look like a face.
Yeah,
Wait, no, I'm getting the face.
yeah, on the left side of
Yeah.
it. Yeah. There's a face.
There's definitely a face. It's like a weird, like chubby baby face.
Look, it's harder to get humans to not see a face than it is to the opposite.
Dapper, I know you love your Blender stuff, but you are allowed to ask me if you want some like random 2D thing. I have no problems making stuff for you.
Okay, but I made a pretty good nebula in like 20 seconds. I'm okay with
You
it.
made a fantastic nebula. I mean, I
Yeah.
couldn't have done better in 2D. I'm just saying, like,
Okay.
if you want something like that, like you can throw fodder stuff like that at me. I don't care.
All right. Anyway,
Since I was looking at the actions for things Chip could do. You can take the minor action to switch stations over to sensors, and then you could scan for weaknesses is something you can do, which
Okay.
makes our next attack have piercing, which means we'd ignore 2 resistance for our next attack.
Yeah.
Um,
My initial thoughts were to scan something, so
Yeah.
I
But it
will
is-
do that. Yes.
It is the enemy's turn, real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go
All
ahead.
right, so they are going to fire some pulse cannons at one of the convoy ships, the one in front
Ugh.
that's a Federation ship. That
Peters.
is indeed a success. So, ooh.
Does it explode?
Hold on.
Okay.
I need to get enough challenge dice here.
Yikes.
Have to start looking for where my last one went. Okay, here we go. I'm rolling every last. Nope. I have all but 2 of my challenge dice. And I 3D printed a bunch of extra challenge dice. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yikes.
Nice.
Okay.
Sounds like it exploded.
So let's see. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 points of damage. You will not be terribly surprised to know that the ship does not have very many shields total. It's like, normally it will be like 4, but now it's like 1 because of the updates. And so that pulse cannon blast rips into its hull. There are multiple explosions. Its shields are down. Its engines are down.
Oh.
Yeah, it's in a bad way. It is currently disabled. It is not quite destroyed. It looks like they were trying to not destroy it. But
Oh.
Makes sense. They want the supplies.
right. It is a drifting wreck mostly. Life support is flickering on and off. It's not a good time.
Yeah, they're doing what Croc would do. Aim for the engines to make them stop moving. So,
But it is the player's turn again. Or you could give a turn to the
Oh wait, Commander Doulos didn't actually go last time.
yeah, you can go.
it's still
Go
it's
ahead.
still
I
your
was just
turn.
gonna-
We haven't gone to a new round yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was just gonna try to fix the engines on the Klingon ship.
Yeah, you want to expedite it, so I will give you... You're already well on your way, so it'll be another difficulty 3... No, we'll go difficulty 2. Daring and engineering on this one.
Okay.
Me switching stations can wait. You can do your thing.
Okay, I'm not gonna spend any momentum on this. We're just gonna roll it straight.
No, roll it gay.
Amazing. Oh shoot, I do have a focus, and I didn't put focus used when I rolled.
It wouldn't have changed anything.
Yeah, it wouldn't have changed anything.
Oh,
You rolled a 12 and an 18.
okay.
Look, if you
Oh.
forget to use a focus and it actually would have applied, you can tell me, and we can just look at what the dice rolls were and determine whether it would have changed
Okay.
anything and make that adjustment. It's more convenient
Okay.
for everyone if you do remember, but if you don't, it's fine.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, because you
okay,
can
so
still
I
see the
didn't-
numbers, right? So.
Yeah, I did not fix them.
So, yeah, you did not.
Unless can the Klingon ship roll to help me?
Oh, actually, it can, and I forgot to check in on that. So, that, I need to pull up its rules. Give me a second here. Or I might accidentally just close that tab that I had open.
Oh
That's-
no.
That's okay, I can just open it right back up. Alright, where did Pavage go? There it is. Okay, so it's going to be assisting you with its structure and engineering. Congratulations, that rolled a 6, so it is in fact fixed.
Huzzah!
Okay.
Okay.
Yo.
So I'm going to point out that we
Shall
do
we
have
run into-
zones around here, some of which may have effects on combat if a ship were to enter them.
Ooh.
Do we know ahead of time what those would be?
Not for certain. A scan would probably tell you,
Yeah.
and you could spend momentum to widen the scan to more of the zones. But I will tell you that the one with the star, the one with the nebula, and the one with the floating debris that looks like asteroids are the ones that have some effect other than just being zones that exist.
I'm betting
Because
the floating
there are
debris
special
has an effect
objects.
on our hull.
So I want to know what the nebula will do. I'm guessing it's going to make it harder to shoot at them. And if so, then I think we would, if we can confirm that, then we should order the freighters to hightail it to there.
Well, it is someone's turn. I believe that, what's it?
I haven't gone
Yeah.
officially, and I just wanted to switch stations, so I do that.
All right, so you
Well,
wanna-
that's a minor action.
Oh, is that a minor action? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll do the scan.
There you go.
Minor actions you can do in space combat, but switching your station is one.
Okay.
So, the rules are on page, what is it, Jordan? I think you have it open.
For which one?
For what
Scanning
you can
stuff?
do as, like, the science guy at the science station.
The page 221 is sensor operations. This would probably be a sensor sweep,
Yeah.
which is reason plus science assisted by the ship's sensors and science, difficulty of 0.
Reason and science. I'm pretty good at that.
Alright, and it's only
I'll
difficulty
use
0.
a momentum.
Are you sure? It's difficulty 0.
the
You literally can't fail.
Difficulty 0, and this would be a generating momentum task.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll
Or
just
threat
roll.
generating if you're the ship this time.
Well, the ship, did in fact generate some threat. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. So,
Well, I got you.
that's 2 momentum, so we're up to 4. And you find out that nebula will disrupt targeting sensors, and any targeted attack that is... Sorry, any attack that is targeting a ship in the nebula will be at an additional 1 difficulty.
All right.
Okay,
I
cool.
send that information to the captain for relay to whoever needs it.
Then I will order the remaining 5 freighters to go hide in the nebula while we fight this asshole.
All right, that is a statement that you're going to make. The enemy ship still has 3 activations left. So what you could do is you could wait until it has another activation, and then you could activate those ships as your next on your side turn.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, so with its activation, it activates a tractor beam successfully and grabs the now very damaged ship. All right.
Yikes.
That's mine.
So on your turn, you want to activate the freighters instead of
Yes.
a player.
Yes.
Okay. So
Well, I think all the players have gone except Hobnall, right?
yes, but also like there are friendly ships that are on your that will take turns like alternating with the enemy that can also be activated to take turns. So they can use their impulse strut engines to come on. Let me select all of them. Fine, whatever. Go over here, then I'll reselect the Kong Z and bring it back.
Yeah. I've used Roll20 before. I'm feeling your pain.
It's okay. It's not
On
that big a
that
deal. All right.
Oh, you guys have no idea what pain is.
So the ship here is going to fire at the Vidge. And that is not only going to be a fail, it is actually a complication, which means that the ship itself actually manages to overload its weapons somewhat, and the fire goes out, but it actually ends up dropping their shields a little bit.
Handy.
Okay, so Hobnall could go, or the Plotvich has only activated once, and it has like 3 more activations that it could do.
The only useful thing I think I can do is I could do an assist, and I could use my medical knowledge to kind of get an idea of how much firepower we can hit at the enemy ship without damaging our own freighter, without getting to some like lethal point there. I could do that. Otherwise, nobody's dying right now, so I'm not overly useful.
You could rush up to the bridge to give assistance with like additional scans or something.
I absolutely could do that.
All right, so technically moving to the bridge is a minor action, but it's one that completes on your next activation.
Works for me.
Okay. So this ship is going to go over here, bringing the freighter with it. And then I'm going to spend 2 threat to retain the initiative and fire the long guns at the Kong Z.
Okay.
All right, that is indeed a hit, but let's see if the ship can give me a pointed threat. Nope.
Is that including do the evasive actions still apply? Because Billy hasn't gone yet. Again, since he evaded.
It is still the same turn. Yeah, it does apply. Gosh darn it.
Yeah, it should apply until I go again.
You guys, yeah, good job reminding me. Because you might not be winning this fight, but you're clearly doing okay. All right, so yeah, it is your turn
Could
again.
be going significantly worse.
The Pay Cult Vig has its engines fixed now, so it can move. So basically, it's up to you what it does, but as an NPC, I'm going to be rolling for it.
I would like the Klingons to close with the enemy, and like basically, I don't want to give them space to warp away. So
Okay.
I want them to stay at close range and hammer it with their weapons.
All right. So they go over here. The next activation is going to be the enemy ship. It is going to recharge power. And then the Klingon ship has one more activation, and I assume you would like it to shoot.
I would.
Okay. So I am going to say that Captain uses his disruptor cannons. And, oh yeah, that's definitely a hit. And, yeah, the ship doesn't assist, but it's still very much a hit. Now, you can use your momentum to cause some damage here. So, would you like to spend momentum to reduce the resistance?
Yeah, it's just as good with them as it is with us. So
Okay.
I think we should spend 3 momentum like we did with us.
All right. So let me put that momentum down to 1. All right. So that is that has lowered its shields to well below 50%. So yeah, the shields are not doing super well here. And we are at the top of a new turn, or new round. Yeah, new turn. What doesn't matter. New round, new turn. Who cares? The player characters
A while to get there,
go
but we're
again.
there.
I think that Tact should go first, so that the evasive actions are still up, and we're at medium range is optimal range for the phasers anyway. And if we do well, are we at 1 momentum now?
4.
No, we're at 1.
Or 4?
Because you spent
Because
3.
we spent
Yeah,
for the piercing. So we could have Tact go, or I can rally, which would generate some momentum for Tact to use.
Also,
So just delay.
there is something that you would have noticed.
Threats, so I mean, we can give him a couple of threats.
Yeah, there is something that I want to let you know that you have you noticed, but I forgot to tell you, is that every time the ship actually bothers to move, beams of energy go from the creature that is behind the ship to the apparent solar sails, and then that energy flows into the ship.
Interesting.
Harvesting energy from it, maybe.
Or yeah, using it to like use the sails to push. It's interesting. Well, so tactically, we could just kill that creature and that would disable their engines. But I don't want to kill something
Yeah, it's
unless
a
we
little
have
harsh.
to.
Yeah,
So
you might get a negative at the
I
end.
mean,
of
I've
the
had it
session for
targeted
that.
this whole time, but you know.
I'll do it if that's not if between that and losing the mission. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go. I can't direct again. I can only do that once a scene. So I'll rally to generate us some momentum.
Okay then.
And I am issuing orders in a clear, concise, and decisive tone. So it's a presence and command difficulty 0. So I'll just roll 2 dice. Would my space combat tactics focus work?
Yes, but also you're going before Tac does them.
So I can generate momentum for him to then use.
Yeah,
is the
you
idea.
can rally.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, go for it.
Well, that sucked. But I did give you 1.
And you're
Right, so
gonna.
I've got 2 momentum.
So does that mean you want to spend the 2 momentum to retain the initiative? Because otherwise, they would get to go in.
I'm a little concerned about them warping away with this ship.
Should
So
You definitely
yes,
should be. Okay.
retain
so,
retain the initiative.
All right, so we
Right,
are now
okay,
at 0 momentum and 1 threat, but 1 threat isn't very much. So like,
No.
you know.
I'm gonna give you 3 threat, so I can get 4 dice.
Okay.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yes.
Using my focus on tactical awareness, daring, security. Yeah.
The ship got 1.
All right, so that means that, let's see, we got 3 momentum, which is how much you normally spend to reduce that resistance. You want to do it again?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, technically, Tack has to tell me.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right, roll those 5 challenge dice.
And away we go.
Wow. 1, 2, so
okay.
5. Yeah. All right. So the shields are now flickering on and off. They 1 more solid hit, and that's it. That's all it'll take. So the ship starts charging up. Like the beams of energy that you've seen coming from the creature now start to intensify, and they're constantly feeding into what look like solar sails.
That sounds like it's starting to build up a warp or something.
We should have, now that their shields are down, we should have the Klingons, because they can still do a weapons activation, whereas we can't.
Mm-hmm.
So the Klingons should go to shoot.
All right.
You should
Target
get
the
them to
sails.
target the solar sails rather than the animal, because that just seems to be like a buffer between the two. So can we get them to target specifically what looks like the sails?
Yeah. All right. They're going to fire their torpedoes. And that is indeed a hit.
Perfect.
All right.
Can it be my turn? Because I have a kind of crazy idea.
You? No.
Well, it could be your turn after the next enemy turn.
Me? Okay.
All right. So, do you want to give any threat in order to reduce their resistance?
Yeah, let's we'll just give you the 3 again. Why not?
All right.
Another ship shows up.
At that point, a torpedo hits, and the shields finally go down, and then a number of explosions rock across the hull of the enemy ship, several of which actually cause tears in the solar sails, causing the tractor beam to drop. At this point, the ship seems like it is continuing to charge. It seems like you've delayed at least whatever warp is happening, but it does turn to fire some weapons over at the Klingon ship. Indeed, getting a hit, which actually I get another point of threat on that one. So, let's see, it was firing those, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 challenge dice. Alright, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, so that is 12, and then... Okay, so that's... Alright.
Maths.
Yeah, the shields on the footbridge drop entirely.
Well, they're Klingons. They're ready for a fight. So.
Or a death.
Yeah.
That too.
Alright, what's next? Commander Dulles, you want to do something crazy?
I want to do something that's probably real dumb, but we're gonna try.
Tillian Pomfoot Red says, is Dapper channeling the Count Von Count? Yes, I am. 1 challenge die. 2 challenge dice. Okay, sorry. What was your idea?
That's actually pretty good.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is what I think. I do not know if this creature, if the creature there is sentient, but I do think that it doesn't want to be there. Secondarily, I think that this creature has a strong connection to this exotic radiation that we are experiencing. Yeah, that we're investigating that's going on around here. And so what I think, so what I want to do, right, is lure the creature. That's my goal. My goal is to encourage this creature to leave, right? Or like stop help, right?
All right. So you're gonna try and communicate telepathically?
No, because I've already tried that and that wasn't helpful.
Okay.
Right?
What's your plan?
So my plan is I've got a good sense of how this radiation works because I figured out how to fix our shields and the Klingons' shields, right? To like reflect it. So I want to like use the deflector array to put a big concentration of that energy like close to us, like trying to get a dog to come to you with a piece of steak.
Okay.
So trying to make us tasty.
There is in fact a rule in this game called crazy it might just work.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that this, in fact, is probably going to be our first invocation of that rule. And yes, you can absolutely do that because it's absolutely insane. And I like that.
So crazy, it might just work.
It just might work.
Yep.
And here's the thing. I think I have a sorry, Roll20 restarted and I have to pull up my character sheet again. So I think I might have a value I can invoke, which is that like curiosity is the mother of invention, right?
Okay, yeah.
Where I am my other one, I don't know if that like understanding is key for people and machine.
I mean, either one could work. You can just pick which one you want.
Either one, okay. Because like this is my goal here is like there's a root here that's like I think this creature is being, and I don't like that, right? And I'm gonna go full white lady, trying to get a stray Rottweiler into my car to get it a puppuccino.
You know, my parents did once stop an Asian lady from trying to get a coyote into her car.
That was good of them to do.
Yeah, she was like she herself was an immigrant from, I believe, Cambodia, and they were like, she doesn't know this isn't a dog. She's never seen a coyote.
She doesn't know that's not a dog.
Yeah, they were like, please stop. That's not a dog. It will bite you. Because she was trying to coax the coyote into her car on the middle of the highway.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Can I pet that dog?
Yeah, exactly. Can I pet that dog? No. Oh, by the way, Craig, the chat would love to see your tattoo, and I will switch scenes real quick in case you want to do that. Let me just make you big.
Dude!
It is really beautiful.
Yeah.
That's so cool!
I love it.
I need to get a
At the top
tattoo.
there it says, I am not a merry man.
Nice.
All right.
It's going to be turned into a full sleeve of a full space battle as well.
And eventually Craig is going to be on, or not Craig, sorry, Toon is going to be on there, right?
Yeah, and Rubik's.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so, Maddie, what I would like for you to do is use a presence and science check. It is going to be difficulty 3.
Okay, can I use my focus of empathy for this?
You absolutely can.
Okay.
You have
Difficulty 3.
I have 2 threat and 0
I'm invoking
momentum.
a value.
Yep. So that means that you can spend that.
0 momentum.
That means you can spend that determination point for an extra die that already counts as having rolled a 1. So 2 successes. Which means you only need 1 success on this presence and what did I say? Engineering?
Okay, and that's a science.
Well, you know what? You can do engineering if you prefer. I don't care. Either
I
way.
would love to do that. Presence and engineering is literally the thing I'm best at.
Okay. And it doesn't come up much.
Which is a weird combo.
Yeah.
I know, but I have a 17 in it.
Do it.
I know.
I'm pretty
just
sure.
gonna do it. We're just gonna do it right now.
All right. Well, that's 3. You only needed 1, so you generated 2 momentum.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So what happens is, as you send out this
And it's
strange
that dog?
radiation, the creature
Yeah.
starts to strain in its moorings, and you feel that it's actually becoming more pained as it's struggling against the energy beams that are keeping it confined. But what it also is doing is reducing the amount of energy that the ship is pulling from it. Which means I'm going to let you guys keep the momentum for free for this turn.
Right,
Dulles,
are
you
you
just-
aware of Maddie's plan here?
You just tortured a dog, a space dog.
A little
I
bit.
did.
Okay, here, right. I've
How
got
can
a
it free of its
thought as
choke
well.
chain?
Right, if we're kind of
Yeah.
aware of what's going on, and there's tugging on the moorings, and it's clear the creature's trying to get away, can I specifically try and target the moorings that are connecting it with a very precise shot?
You
Well,
absolutely can.
you already went.
Oh,
But
sugar.
you can't command again, huh?
I can't, and I already went with rally. Otherwise, I just was one of the rules that I'd overlooked before is override. I could have been this whole time doing an override minor task to shoot myself, +1 DC, but I'm like really, really good at it. But I just have never done it because I'm not a tactical officer. But I've already gone this turn.
I'll let you do it once, as in lieu of taking a second turn. I'll let you do it
Okay,
one time.
so
But now, from now on, you have to remember that.
I will remember it from now on. All right, so shooting is still control and security. I have shipboard tactical systems as a focus.
That counts. Are you shooting phasers or photons?
Their shields are down, so we'll be shooting torpedoes. Quantum
Alright.
torpedoes,
That
actually.
gives me a
but
threat.
we're trying to be precise to try and just release the creature. So,
No, I'm trying to fuck the ship up.
okay, yeah, cool, all right.
We are very precisely blowing them up with an antimatter reaction. It's very concentrated and
Oh,
Yeah.
this doesn't look like this ship's powered by antimatter.
Okay,
the quantum
so-
torpedoes are.
Oh yeah, sure, of course they are.
what's the difficulty for a torpedo shot?
It's still 2. As long as you're at the right range, which I
no.
believe you are.
Attacks using torpedoes have a basic difficulty of 3, actually.
Oh, okay. But they are medium range, right?
They're long range.
Oh, well then it's difficulty 4, actually.
Oh, that's gonna be tough.
You could
Because
spend some determination, maybe.
yeah, I'm gonna invoke a focus,
Value.
which is decisive action saves lives, hesitation costs them.
Okay, but that's a value.
Sorry, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
All right, yeah, no, that works.
So and I'll roll to see if I keep it later. So that's 2, and I'm also going to use my Star Cross. So it doubles my focus range, which is I get a crit on a 10 or better now.
Okay.
And then how much momentum do we have?
1.
We have 1. Okay. And you have 3 threat.
Mhm.
I'm gonna spend that momentum and give you 2 threat to roll 4 die. Well, no, I already did I don't need it. I'll do 1 momentum to roll the 3 die.
Okay.
Go.
So
All
that's
right, none of those doubled,
5,
unfortunately.
I guess.
Yeah.
So that's 1 more than you needed, so your momentum is back. All right. Would you like to spend any momentum or give me any threat in order to get piercing on that?
Yes. How much? We have 1 momentum.
Yes.
I'll spend 1 momentum and give you 1 threat to do 4 to drop the resistance by 4.
Okay.
And then quantum torpedoes have 4, so I'll roll 4 plus my 5 security is 9 challenge dice, right?
Okay.
Or 0. That works
0?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's almost 9,
That's
right?
cool. Yeah, I'll just roll my sword until it comes with the right number.
Okay.
1,
So
2,
that's
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 2 more. There we go.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it has
Vicious, which I think means
it's 1 extra die for
Yeah.
each. So that's 6, 7, 8. All right, and it has this. So that's 10 breaches.
high yield inflicts an additional breach.
They're all dead, right?
Just 1 additional breach, or is it 1 per damage?
It's if the attack inflicts 1 or more breaches to a system and inflicts an additional 1.
Yeah. So then that is so that's 5 breaches. They are currently heavily damaged and disabled.
This is
okay.
They are first-hand experiencing. Fuck around and find out.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I'll order Chip to open a channel.
All right, I use my minor action to switch over when I can.
Okay. So
because I'm currently
it
scanning.
is going to be their turn next. They are going to attempt to shoot at the Kong Z, which no longer has evasive maneuvers.
Billy hasn't gone yet.
Damn. Yeah, okay, fine, it does. They're gonna shoot at the Pult Vidge then. Screw you guys.
Yeah, they have no shields.
That is an actual definite hit.
Oof. No, not
My
our-
hair
not allies.
has come undone.
Did they die?
But did you die?
Oh no,
hey,
did I die?
Hey, Maddie.
Hey, yeah?
You should get to an escape pod.
Okay, I run and try to do that.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and be nice and say that you got to an escape pod because the Pekovic is about to blow up.
Did Klingon ships have escape pods?
Yes.
It typically, according to the rules, takes 2 rounds. Half the crew gets there in 1 round, and then the other half gets to the next round.
Maddie's on the first round.
Yeah.
Maddie gets on it, go on and just flips everyone else off, be like, yeah, my pod.
Jogging
What?
through
I gotta go
the
pet that
corridors
dog.
pays off
You can fit 5 more
sometimes.
people in. No, sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Bye.
No,
Oh my god,
this-
my core is so strong.
So the way it
around
works
you.
actually requires a change position minor action and a daring plus con task difficulty 0 in order to board a launch pod and escape.
Okay,
Better do
but
that.
I've already
This is
gone
on-
this round.
It's on page 229.
I don't care. We're gonna count it as a reaction.
Oh, okay.
Lucky.
Are you gonna give me that check, or you just not want to bother because it's difficulty 0?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. I
Daring plus
misunderstood
con.
what you said. Daring plus con. Okay, on it. I'm sorry. Roll 20 keeps glitching out, and I have to. Here we go. Daring. Plus.
Roll 20 is great for
con.
glitching out.
It is.
Yeah.
Although, like I said in chat earlier, using Alchemy VTT for my Dragonbane game, we found out my players can hit the search button and pull up DM information.
Ooh.
Oh dear.
Good.
That's
Hey,
bad.
I'm thinking about trying
Pretty
I
to
got you guys.
Tailspire for my next campaign. So,
Tailspire looks good.
yeah.
I use Foundry, but Tailspire does look very, very fancy. I use Foundry because you pay once and you're done.
Yeah.
Foundry is
well,
also pretty
technically,
good for
Tailspire is
everything
also-
that I've used it yet.
Tailspire is also pay once and then you're done.
That's handy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it also
The
means
difference-
that everyone who is going to play either needs to needs to have a seat available for them, which the seats are a little on the expensive side, or they also need to have purchased Tailspire. So anyway, all right, it is your turn. The crew of the Kong Z.
And you
so
have 3 momentum I made you by getting to my escape pod.
I think we would be best served since they're messed up by talking. So I think we should have Chip go to open the channel.
But
Yeah,
just
I
so you
switched
know,
out.
I have my salvo ready to just, blow them the fuck up.
I switch over
Talking-
to the comms chair and open the channel.
What would you like to say?
Talking sounds good, but they just blow up our allies.
So the channel's open, and I'll say, unidentified vessel. This is Captain Va of the Kong Z. Your ships are down, and your ship is damaged. Stand down or be destroyed.
Their weapons start charging. I think they're choosing destroyed.
All right, Tack, you heard them.
Okay, I'm gonna do the whole salvo thing. Get it up. Okay, so
Difficulty
Percept torpedo
4 on the
attacks,
torpedoes.
It is
Benefits
difficulty
salvo.
4, so you probably want to use some determination and other stuff. Oh, I need to roll to see if I retain my determination, actually.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
I'm going to use the amethyst dice for this. They failed me.
Right. Use.
They made a
have
real
I used
amethyst?
determination again, please.
So
They are.
first, you have to invoke either a value that you have or a mission directive, which would include the prime directive as well as get the convoy home
Okay,
safely.
well, I'll go with chain of command is key because the captain went blow them up.
Yeah, okay.
As my value.
There was a set of Usik dice I wanted, but they were $3,000, so I didn't buy those.
Okay. I'm going to use my focus of tactical awareness. I'm going to use my full spread maximum yield to fire the torpedoes. So that is gains benefit of devastating attack momentum spend as though 2 momentum had been spent.
Okay.
Right. I'm going to use 4 momentum to get the 4 dice.
Well, you only have 3, but I'll take the threat.
Yeah, do it.
All right.
So that'll be 7 successes with his daring or determination spend.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so that's 3 momentum left. You could spend it all on penetrating, I suppose.
Yes.
Boom.
Do it.
All right. Yeah, there's roll, because if you get all zeros, then I guess nothing happens. But otherwise, it's probably going to be pretty bad.
What am I rolling? Challenge dice.
Yes.
It would be 4 plus security, whatever your security is.
So 9 challenge dice.
Just 1. He gets 1.
Well, that's 5.
That's a little more than 1.
Yeah, so,
First 9.
it explodes.
Yay!
Unfortunately,
Really?
it does seem like if that creature is still alive, it is not very alive.
Oh,
Are we able to
I don't know that though, because I'm in an escape pod.
Mm-hmm.
Are we able to scan the creature to see if it's alive? Check for life signs of any
Yeah,
kind?
so it has very weak life signs, but they're fading, and you can try to see what you can do, but it's a big old space whale that's bleeding out into the void.
Sir, I suggest we put it out of his misery.
We have more
I
important
know.
things to deal with right now, Tack.
I leave the bridge.
Okay.
And I'm going to go out into space, because I can do that.
Are you going to tell
Yeah,
anyone
but-
that you're doing this?
I do not, because I'm
We're like-
immediately doing it.
Hold on.
Okay.
I would just like you would know this. We are very far away in
Mhm.
like actual distance from this space whale.
At your maximum
yes.
acceleration, it would probably take you several days to get there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now you could like steal a shuttle.
Yeah, but that would be a
Then-
much... Look, abandoning your station is already a pretty big breach. Stealing a shuttle, that could get you in prison.
Space prison.
So, with that knowledge,
Yes,
are
would
you
you
still
be-
abandoning your station?
I will say that I would like to save the whale, and I can if we get close enough to it.
Your empathy is commendable, Lieutenant, but we have a ship to evacuate and escape pods that we need to save.
Okay.
All right, so we are not going to have everyone roll for various things with the whole, like, getting escape pod people back on the Kong Z, getting the crew of that disabled freighter on board. You can't fit all of its cargo in your cargo holds, but you can get some of it in there. And, yeah, so you do that. And we're going to start wrapping up here, guys. So you get everyone on board. There were definitely a large number of casualties from the Klingon ship, but fortunately it wasn't everyone, and Commander Dulles is one of the ones who has survived. Mostly because I don't really want to kill a PC right now.
Just so everyone
fair.
knows, could have. It was
I
in
did-
his
absolutely
power.
could have.
They did die in battle, so
Yeah, I mean, it was a good death for those Klingons.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys managed to contact Starfleet and the Klingon Defense Force, inform them what's going on, unless you would choose to keep the secret. I don't know, Jordan?
No, we certainly are going to call them.
All right. You can tell I've recently
we
played
found
Star Trek
a random
Resurgence.
species that we'd never met before, and we had to blow them up. That's probably something we should say, you know?
So,
Yeah.
good news.
Yeah.
First contact. Good news.
Yep. Bad
We contacted them
news.
so well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was definite contact. Quite a lot, actually.
Bad news, not everyone survived.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, you guys contact them. You get to Relay 3-5 with most of the cargo, and the people on board the station are, on the one hand, very saddened about all of the people who died, but on the other hand, they do seem excited for new faces to be there, because some of the cargo was actually passengers, new scientists and engineers for the station. But then...
It's good to save.
Yeah, your trip back to Narendra Station is otherwise uneventful. However, both Starfleet and the Klingon Defense Force are disappointed with the loss of life and the loss of two different starships, one a civilian and one a fairly valuable Klingon Defense Force warship, which will also greatly reduce the fleet power from Narendra Station. So that was a pretty big deal. But yeah, you do now know that there is another power center here in the Shackleton Expanse that is definitely got some firepower behind it and is hostile. So,
And also has imprisoned whales.
yes, big old space whales. They have them as slaves. Power their ships.
Yeah. May I please start? Like, my report for this is like a full Save the Whales campaign.
That's fair. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Actually,
Yeah.
would someone please give me a first, does anyone have a specialization in anything like history?
No.
Well, actually, little known fact, one of my previous hosts was actually a history professor at the on Trill. So,
In case anyone is wondering, for I think it's just for one scene, joined Trill characters can just choose to have a focus that they don't actually have and just say it's from a past host. That's the game mechanic thing that's happening right now.
So they're a historian. I'll figure out their name later, but one of my past hosts was a historian.
Va was a history professor. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Indiana
so,
Jones var.
Tell you what,
Laura Va. How about
why
that?
don't you say that you have a focus, and I will let you take a difficulty 1. Let's see. It's gonna be science and what's a good thing for memory? I'll let you choose
Reason,
either
probably.
reason or presence.
Presence for sure, because I suck at that.
Okay.
Do we have momentum left?
No. And oh wait, no, you have 3 left. I'm sorry.
Oh, cool. Well, because I suck at that still. I'll spend all 3 to get 4 die. There we go.
Okay. Yeah. So you get 2 momentum back, although it doesn't matter much at this point. So, it turns out that as you're examining the sensor logs from all this, the sensor readings that you got from that space whale thing really, really look like historical records from several centuries ago of a Vulcan science ship encountering another spaceborne life form that they called a Hakiv. And it's not conclusive, but this might be that only once spotted creature or a close relative.
Interesting.
Fascinating.
All right. But that is...
That's exciting.
You are back at Narendra Station, awaiting your next orders. There is a lot of paperwork to be filled out for after-action combat reports and everything. But overall, you did mostly succeed at your mission. Only a fraction of the cargo was lost, and a few of the passengers, and a lot of Klingon Defense Force members were killed. But they were killed in battle.
Nobody under my command, so it doesn't go under my reputation roll.
Yeah, some of those passengers and crew from the cargo ship do count. Yeah, but it's only 1. It's just one thing. All right. So we are going to get out of here, guys. Thank you so much to everyone for coming and hanging out with us. We got 27 people in chat, but I'm only seeing 20 likes. So those 7 of you, hit that like button. The plan is to be back next week, same time, or let's see. Let me double check here. Yes, episode 11, Forests of the Night, is the next one that we should be doing. So I hope that you all had fun, including the players and the audience. And we should be back next week with Chesh back in the captain's chair and producing. And if we're not back next week, sorry. I really hope we are. But yeah, bye everybody.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, and I realize now I forgot to load up my end credits, so we're just gonna get out of here.